let's just get right into it. There's this idea that as men get older, they start to lose their edge, kind of fade into the background. But what if that is completely, 100% wrong? Today, we're going to talk about the habits that make an older man, well, magnetic.
You know, society loves to sell us this story, this myth, that a man's peak is somewhere in his 20s, and it's all downhill from there. It's a lie. On the one hand, you've got this idea that you're fading out, but the truth is so much more powerful. Some men don't just age, they ascend, and we're about to dive into exactly how that happens.
Now, if you buy into that lie, you start making some huge, unattractive mistakes. I mean, you've seen it, right? The guy who's trying way too hard to act young, it just feels off. Or the polar opposite, the guy who completely lets himself go. They stop learning, stop hitting the gym, and suddenly they're reacting emotionally to every little thing. Look, that isn't aging with grace. That's just broadcasting insecurity. So here's the absolute key. A man's peak isn't defined by his youth. Not at all. It's defined by his frame. So what is frame? Think of it like this. It's that quiet, undeniable energy. The kind of presence that commands respect the second you walk into a room, before you've even said a word. And we're going to break down exactly how to build it, starting right now with habit number 1. Okay, first habit. And this one is something that I'd say 90% of younger guys just don't have, which makes it incredibly valuable. We're talking about unshakable calm. We live in a world that basically runs on outrage and chaos, right? So a man who can stay centered, who can stay calm under pressure, he's like a magnet. This emotional unshakability, it's about being the anchor in the storm. It's not about being a robot with no feelings, it's about being the master of your emotions. This calm is the absolute bedrock of a strong frame. So how do you actually build this? Well, here's a simple but crazy powerful technique. It's called the 3-second gap. Something triggers you. Somebody cuts you off in traffic, you get a rude email, whatever it is. Instead of instantly reacting, you just wait. Count it out in your head. 1, 2, 3. That tiny little pause, that's where all your power is. It creates a space between the trigger and your response, and it lets you act with intention, not just on raw impulse. So I want you to ask yourself this, and be really honest. Do people come to you for calm advice? Or are you the one who feels like you're always fighting and shouting just to be heard? Your answer tells you a lot about the strength of your frame. And this right here, this slide, it just nails why. You've got the tryhard who's shouting to prove he matters, but then you have the man with a truly strong frame, the stay cool guy. He knows, deep down, that his silence can carry way more weight than shouting ever could. His presence is the point. Okay, let's move on to the second core habit, radical intentionality. This is the absolute cure for being wishy-washy, which is honestly how a weak frame shows up in the real world. I mean, just look at this phrase. You've heard it a million times. It seems so harmless, but I'm telling you, few things kill attraction faster. I don't know, what do you want to do? It just screams a lack of direction, a lack of leadership. It's an unwillingness to take charge of the moment, and it just completely shatters that perception of a strong frame. I love this quote. It's such a great way to think about it. See, leadership isn't about being a boss or a dictator. It's about having a vision, even a small one, like for the evening, and the confidence to guide things forward. That quality, that intentionality, it's like a pheromone. It's this powerful, almost primal signal of competence and reliability, and that is a core part of an attractive frame. And this is how you start building it in the real world today. Going on a date, have the location picked out. Make a choice. Choose everything in your life, your food, your fitness, your partners, with purpose. And please cut out the filler words like "I guess" that just scream uncertainty. Stop asking for permission to live your life. Every single one of these intentional choices reinforces that you are the one in charge of your reality. This brings us to our third habit, and this one is all about self-mastery. We're calling it the silver discipline. This is where you physically embody your frame, and it's how you really separate yourself from the crowd.
You know, society has a really low bar for older men physically. It almost expects you to let yourself go. But think about this. The moment you refuse to follow that script, the moment you decide, no, I'm going to maintain my physical and mental edge, you instantly move into the top 1% of men in your age group. Instantly. You become exceptional simply by choosing not to decline.
And really, it's as simple as this. How you treat your body is a direct reflection of your self-respect. Taking care of your health, it's not about vanity. It's about honoring the one and only vessel you get to live in. It sends a powerful signal to everyone, including yourself, that you value who you are. This is what we call the polished edge. It's that super rare combination of physical energy and mental sharpness that's been maintained over decades. And it's so attractive because it's a visible sign of an invisible quality: the fortitude, the strength, to delay gratification and do the hard things, day in and day out. It proves your frame isn't just some idea, it's forged in real discipline.
So here's the mindset you have to adopt. Never, ever believe you've arrived. A man who is still becoming is just infinitely more interesting, more attractive than a man who thinks he's already peaked. So pick a new, hard challenge. Learn an instrument. Get serious about a sport. A man who is still growing is dynamic, he's interesting, he's alive. But all of this is incomplete with one final, crucial key.
And this is the one. This is the one that ties everything else together. It's not just another habit. This is your ultimate leverage.
There it is. It seems so simple, right? But it is profoundly rare. The ability to just listen. To truly listen, without immediately jumping in to fix things, to give advice, or to judge.
As an older guy, yeah, your experience is valuable. But your presence is invaluable. When you can just sit with someone, look them in the eye, and truly hear them, you create this space of safety and intimacy that, frankly, younger, more insecure men just can't offer. You're not trying to prove anything. You're just there.
So let's bring this all home. Forget everything society told you. Age is not a decline. I want you to think of it as a refinement, like a process of burning away all the unnecessary stuff, the ego, the neediness, the noise, and what's left behind is the pure, strong essence of who you really are.
And that is the final thought I want to leave you with. Stop apologizing for your years and start using them. Your experience, your calm, your discipline, these aren't signs of being old. They are your tools. They are your weapons. Your age isn't a cage that's holding you back. It is your leverage. Now go use it.